Okay, we are now live, so I'm just going to share it on Facebook also. Okay, we're also on Facebook. Hello, thank you for watching. This is the Diaspora panel where we discuss issues about Nigeria. This is the, as I said, this is the Diaspora panel. We are the voice of the diaspora. Please, if you enjoy all our videos, please subscribe to our channel. If you want to subscribe, please go to www.diasporapanel.com, or you can also go to youtube.com/diaspora panel. My name is Dejiolaya, and I'm based in Dublin, Ireland. I have with me in the house today, I have Mr. Ademola Desa, who is joining us from England. Mr. Desa, you are welcome.
Thank you for having me.
I also have Mr. Olashukbo Lawal, who is based in Canada. Mr. Lawal, you are welcome.
Thank you.
And the last but not the least is Mr. Olatunde Digba, who is based in the United States of America. Mr. Digba, you are welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Today, we want to discuss godfatherism in Nigerian politics. Yesterday, this is the 19th or the 18th of February, the 19th of February, we saw APC election, APC internal election to choose their governorship candidate for the governorship election. We've seen the rancor that has been going on in the last few weeks between former Governor Aregbesola and incumbent Governor Oyetola. We've seen that the former governor was happy on his credentials as a former governor to promote somebody else apart from the governor. He decided to be his own godfather in Osun State, breaking away from the overall godfather in Lagos. And we've seen that after the election, there's a wild gulf. There's a wild gulf between the governor, this opposition, which shows very clearly that Aregbesola's attempt to transform himself into a godfather was woefully defeated. And this is what we have to discuss today. I'm going to start with you, Mr. Ademola Desa. I mean, you are from a political family. You know how this is done. The first thing I want to ask you, Mr. Desa, is what do you make of Aregbesola's attempt to become a godfather in Osun State?
Thank you, DG. There is a adage in Yoruba land that if the elders has not given away their throne, the old one and the younger one cannot take over.
Yes, continue.
Yeah, and Aregbesola wanted to be a godfather. I have to look back at that. He still have a godfather that also that operating on the same level at the same premises. And until that one not as out of influence, there's no way it can be. Now, what make people a godfather is because they have a lot of influence in dictating the political landscape of Nigeria. Because they have people in the grassroots, both at the world, state, or national level, that are able to operate and determine who is supposed to be somebody in Nigeria. And it is these people that now select people that will occupy position, not only because they are also within the high power, but also because they have the resources to finance and make people, to put people in political offices. Until these people are outwitted, then it's not possible. Now, the problem with Aregbesola and the current governors, why he lost is while Aregbesola is no more operating within the state. He's at national level, and also he is far away from the grassroots. He has delegated or left the grassroots to the existing governor to manage, who are able to, let's say, undercut his support from the grassroots. And he's also having his own influence, even though Aregbesola contributed towards his coming into office, but it's not the sole person that finance is coming into office. So the governor is able to do this not only because he has the grassroots, also because he has the godfather of godfather. Is the godfather of Aregbesola is also behind him. So if your godfather is behind somebody and also that person has gained political influence because of his position as the governor, then your position is no more tenable. And so it's relevant, it's really is a good, and this is the what we need to be very careful of, is because this is usually what create political tension in Nigeria. And the loss of power or regain of power, wanting to maintain relevance in political systems, that is what creates thuggery, that is what creates vandalism, and that is what creates political instability. So let's see the outcome of this. Hope it will not lead into bad political dispensation.
Thank you very much, Demola. So, Lighter.
Yes.
I want to ask you a completely different question. And well, the same related question is that when you look at the videos of Aregbesola going about in public and, beating his chest and, talking down on everybody, including his own godfather. When you look at his record, his 8-year record in Osun State, do you think that is much liked based on his records in Osun State?
Is much liked or not?
Is it more? Is talking as if he is much liked, but that doesn't seem to be the case when you look at the result of the election. What do you make of that? You don't understand the question.
It is breaking.
Okay.
Reframe it. It's breaking. I can hear you now.
My question is that Aregbesola was going about pounding his chest, like everybody likes him, like he is the one who controls the vote. But when after the election, his candidate scored woefully. So do you think that his 8-year record in Osun State is a minus or a plus for Osun State people?
8 year in office in Osun, it was a monumental failure. That is my opinion, and I'm open to correction. That is my view. It started where, right? Because people were tired of Olagoshoyi or crew legs governors. But when Aregbesola came, I was one of those guys that invited Aregbesola to come and be the governor in Osun. Some few others. And Aregbesola, when he came, he had a good intention. But when he got there, he discovered that, this is power. This is how big I am. So I can rub shoulder with the people at the end of affair. I can be power broker. I can be father. I can be godfather. I can be this. I can be that. He derailed himself, right? To the extent when he changed Ilesha Grammar School name to Ijesha stuff, right? So people like Justice Ilori, the late Justice Ilori, that kind of thing, they were begging him. They begged him not to change that name because it was the alma mater. Aregbesola never listed. If you can remember, Ilesha Grammar School pitch, that field in Ife-Ijesha was the field, it was like stadium where we were in secondary school. Right? He went there to go and construct on that field he constructed a mighty school on that field, on that same field. So anybody that passes through the Okesha street will be seeing it, will be looking at, this is Aregbesola handiwork. You don't pay to the gallery. Aregbesola went to all these Islamic banks to go and borrow money. And they now busy deducting the money from the source. You capitalize on the capital project. Right? What about the recurrent projects? What about the personnel who will be earning salary? You never bother about it. And he said he had management. He was boasting he had management experience, management background. The teachers are going to teach. You build fine, fantastic schools. The teachers who will be teaching and passing knowledge to the students. You don't give them salary. You all the roads. You say you constructed roads. The roads before they get to 10 kilometers, they constructed first kilometer has continued undulated. So all these things, it was just as if Aregbesola was crazy. Right? I don't know if he was just full of himself. He had high opinion of himself. He never climbed up from the high horse. Right. So that what led to him. I mean, what led him to say, Tinubu was this, Tinubu was that, Tinubu was. I will show them. I will show their candidates in Osun. Who are you? Remember when he was governor, second term, he lost his ward. I mean, he lost Ilesha West. It was Ilesha East that he won. When he was governor, he lost Ilesha West to DDP. So to tell you that Aregbesola was nowhere to be found in Ilesha land. Aregbesola in Osun State is predominantly civil servant, but you are staffing the civil servant. You don't pay them salary. How can you be popular? No, it's just simple arithmetic. You can't be popular where you do the staff, the workforce, and the people are not civil servant. It is all what civil servant earn that is being shared by those workers, the artisan, the bricklayer, the civil servant. They will take the car to the mechanic. They will build houses. They will do this, but you staff them or funds. You don't give them any. You don't give the salary. Our salary then was, I mean, level 12. I was earning 75,000 naira, and 75,000 naira. It wasn't okay for me. And Aregbesola, 75,000 naira is what I will spend in 2 months. How are we going to do it? A lot of people died. A family who will be teaching and will be lecturing, they are civil servants. Their children, they cannot do anything. They cannot even afford prescription for themselves and their children. So a lot of things happen. He garnered a lot of hatred for himself by borrowing. Yeah, a lot of it. Everybody, but because of my passion for him, because of my likeness for him, I always defend him. Look, take it easy now. Oyinlola has put the state in debt before. So what he did, he just go a long way to show him that he's nobody.
Okay. Yeah, let me pause you there because I know you can go on and on for the whole day. Shukpo, when you look at the result of the election, are you surprised?
Not particularly. What I am actually surprised, my biggest surprise is that they actually agreed to go direct primaries. that I would say is my own surprise. But I think from what we have heard from Mr. Light and from what we have been able to gather in the news, it is not surprising that I don't think his administration as governor was that liked by many people in society. And I would say that Rauf Aregbesola, to me, is a victim of a system that he himself now is trying to also build. He came in, he was supported by many people, but the reality was that he came in through a godfather. as you know, Mr. Lighton said, he had good intentions, but I think he got there and realized that, you know, the system that brought him in there is not palpable to people who truly want to make the right change. If you get in there through a godfather, you bow to the wishes and the aspirations of your godfather. That is the way that system is designed. So to me, it is not surprising that he wasn't really able to do a lot of the things that he wanted to do. And probably by the time he got to the second time, he lost, you know, that vision completely. That is the end result of a godfather-based system. The elected officials are not accountable to the people. They are accountable to the godfathers who put them in that position. That's the way it works. And it doesn't alleviate, you know, the problems by the people. Why you will see that the direct primaries is really the model for Nigeria going forward is that despite all the firing shots before this election, during the election and after the results were declared, there's no violence, no riots, no wrangling, you know, nobody being beaten or butchered or anything. Why? Because the election was conducted freely and fairly, and the results actually it outlines the wishes and the aspirations of the people. Why do people riot mostly? Because they know that the election was rigged. They know the wishes and the aspirations of the people, and to their very bold, you know, faces, the mandate is being snatched away from them. That is mostly what, you know, propels people, you know, to riot or, you know, to fight and all of these things after elections. We didn't see any of that. So it is an indication that this direct primaries is a very good way to actually help the wishes and the aspiration of the people to come to light. Nobody is arguing. No, there has not even been any reports, at least I have heard so far, that, you know, there were any irregularities.
Thank you.
And the winner won hands down. So I would say going forward, I'm surprised sometimes when we have elected officials who see the ill effects of the system that they've benefited from, and they have no moral justification to actually change it. I mean, the system that robbed him of the ability to actually implement his own vision, now he's trying to create the same.
Okay.
When are we going to get out of this?
Let me pause you there briefly, so just to save our time. Demola, should there be godfatherism in the system? Should this kind of system continue in Nigerian politics?
Now, we should strive to stop it. The high time is we should stop that type of act because it's not favorable for our political development. Godfatherism doesn't favor the people. It only favors the godfather's interest. And their interests are not almost all the time allied with the people's interest. So we should strive to make sure that this type of practices are stopped because it encourages nepotism. It doesn't encourage getting the right people in the right place. And it doesn't encourage respecting the will of the electorate. That means the election, because democracy is supposed to be the wish of the people, by the people and for the people. But the godfatherism is totally against democracy. There is no democracy when there is godfatherism. It's totally the opposite way because it's not a government of the people anymore. It becomes a government of a clique of vested interest of people that really want to only execute their own personal agenda. And that is why we are having poor infrastructures because we don't have the best contractors that are providing the construction. We are having poor state management and welfare of the people, because it's not the right person that are put in there either as ministers or as commissioners or as governors or senators or whatever, because they are not there to represent the interests of the people. They are represent in the interest of their godfather or their own personal interest. So it's high time that we do away with this godfatherism and let people will prevail over.
Thank you, Demola. Let me pause you there, so we'll pause over time. Olaitan, now that Oyetola has defeated his godfather or his mini godfather, defeated, there's going to be the re-election between APC and PDP and the other parties in the general election. I think it's going to be happen sometime this year, maybe next month.
It's going to be happening by July.
Do you think that Aregbesola and his group, they have enough weight to swing the vote to PDP? Because the reason why I'm asking that is, if you look at the last election, the margin between the win was about 300 votes. When you look at the votes cast now, Aregbesola and his group, they have at least clearly over 1,000 votes. So going to that election, do you think that they need to pull them close so that they don't become the third columnists?
Let me start from Aregbesola. Aregbesola's intention is to divide the APC. And once he divides the APC in Osun, he said because they don't recognize him, that this guy, the Igube governor doesn't recognize him as being powerful. So he wanted to show the governor that is powerful there. But the question is, if APC loses the election, will be made the chairman of PDP or will he have any stake in PDP? Far from it. What I want us to know is when they contested with PDP in the last election, they won narrowly. It is time now to come together. If Aregbesola is genuine and his supporters, all those people, he brought some of my friends, his former commissioners, the chairman, party chairman. These are my friends. He brought them, and he was giving them contracts in Abuja. He placed them on salary every month, right? And to be fighting the Igube governor. You don't do that. In fighting the Igube governor, you are indirectly fighting Tinubu. This is Tinubu, but if he doesn't talk, that doesn't mean that it's not goes well with him. It's not go well with him. This is somebody who bankroll your governorship election. This is somebody who oppose you in Osun. We have fathers now in AD in Osun. But when you came, did anybody dictate for you? Nobody never dictated for you. The people you met in Osun, nobody dictated for you. Nobody said this is how you should be running. Nobody intervened. What you did was Omo Babaka and what is it called? Omo Bolage, that you made as commissioner. So nobody asks of you, anybody you brought, anybody you did. And they allow you. And he did well. He did fantastic well. He had good intention. He had good dream. Yeah, but it was wounded with pride, arrogance, and vituperations. It was just blowing hot. As if it will not, the tenor will not end. So the problem is APC, they should come together. If they truly love the interest of APC at the back of their mind, the APC should come together and they should make sure they deliver the states.
Okay, thank you, Laitan. Shukwa, I'm sure you listened to some of the videos of Aregbesola, and he was openly castigating Bola Tinubu saying all kind of things that we don't want to repeat. So the question I want to ask you is, what kind of a person, a leader, do you think he is, in your own opinion? How will you frame him?
Well, I certainly want to be fair, and I don't want to frame him by just a couple of sound bites. But typically, leaders who have ideas, in my opinion, will say things or will disagree on principle and on ideas about governance, ideas about vision, ideas about how to move the state forward. I didn't hear any of that, in those sound bites. What I heard mostly were very personal, very petty attacks, which, in a way, shows what mostly dominates, the sound waves in Nigerian politics. It's mostly not a battle of ideas. It's mostly not about disagreements about principles and ideologies. It's about personal differences, about, some people trying to assert themselves, over society and over others. So I didn't hear anything that sounded more like a difference in ideology or why the incumbent is not the right candidate, except that, he was forced on us, and now we don't want him, end of story. So I think our political discourse needs to elevate to the realm of ideology, to the realm of ideas, to the realm of vision that people have, so that, the public can actually look at both parties and then pick the candidate that they believe has the right vision, has the right character, and is able to do, the things that they've outlined that they will accomplish, and hold them accountable. That is kind of where we need to move to. And I'm glad that the failure, I think, of kind of the Aregbesola side will mark an end to, that type of politics, and will propel us into a politics of direct primaries, of, people's mandate being adhered to, of leaders being judged by their, by their character and by their record, and not who they know, who their godfather is, and any of these things.
Okay, thank you, Shukwa. Demola, the question I want to ask you is this: now that Rauf has lost, he has played this game, he has played this card, and he has lost. What do you think is next for him? What do you think he's going to do next, or what should he do next?
The handwriting is already on the wall. You see it right from the state executive primary. It's faction lost. Now, the second phase now is the governorship nomination. Who is going to represent the governor? It's faction lost again. So its relevance is becoming questionable. And from history, from the previous godfathers, when they lost faces, what they tend to do is to swap allegiance to other party and move their group into those parties. And if there's still relevance, or if they still have influence, they twist this around and they make it. Some of them succeed, some of them don't succeed. And it's not left for him, because if we think, from what he has said so far, from the outcome of the election, even though he knew that he was, woefully defeated, he is still preaching for the party to be, that there be solidarity within the party, there should be unity, and the party to still stay as one and still work for the party. So from that utterances so far, I believe he still want to remain in the party and probably try to make amend and save his face and consolidate and make a way of going back to his mentor and allied with them again and try to work towards the success of the party at the state. Because if the party fails at the state and it doesn't have influence in the other party, then its political relevance will be totally be left to oblivion. It will
Thank
be
you.
less dispensation in Osun State, if not in Nigeria. So in that wise, I think that is what it will likely to do. But it still comes to the fact that we are talking about the Godfather or whatever. Now we look at the candidates themselves. When Oyetola is talking about his own personality of what he has done so far in the first 3 years and how different he has made in the state, we don't have anything of substance from the other from his contestant, which was former secretary or so of the state, and only to rely on Aregbesola's influence, not on his own credibility or his own personality, and that even make it worse. So Oyetola was able to campaign not only on the backbone of his, he doesn't even mention his godfather. It was on his own merit, and it worked. And the other one that worked on the merit of his godfather failed woefully. That tells you that godfatherism it doesn't hurt if you are a bad product. And people are opening their eyes now to know who is best for the country.
Thank you, Demola. So finally, I'm just going to ask you the last question, which is a kind of social media declaration now. So Olaito, let me start from you. What lessons do you think other politicians should learn from we've seen this happen in the Edo State between Oshiomhole and Obaseki. We have now seen Aregbesola against Oyetola. What lesson should they learn from trying to impose themselves on the people?
The lesson one should learn from imposition of candidates is high time we do away with imposition of candidates and be subservient to godfatherism. The direct primary I saw yesterday, whereby everybody queue at the back of their candidates, it was excellent. That is how it's being done in America and all over the world. So I think we should emulate it all over Nigeria. Nobody should, any candidate will feel that he can deliver for us in Nigeria. Those are the candidates we should vote for. And it is high time we do away with politics of money. We should not get money from any people. It is those people who have nothing to offer that will be giving you money. People who have something to offer will not give you money, but they want to give you idea. They want to serve as Chinese proverb. And when you give a child a fish, you feed him for a day. Or teach him how to fish, you feed him forever. So these are the areas we want. I want Nigerians, the electorates, our women, our leaders, and they should concentrate attention on. Anybody that gives you money, don't reject their money. Vote for people who can deliver for you, who can give you portable health care, who can give you roads, who can give you accommodation, who can give you housing, who can give you social welfare. These are the people who can make life comfortable for you, who never thought of himself alone, but the generality of the people. These are the people I want Nigerians to vote for. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And Shukwa, what lessons do you think the politicians should learn from what I call the failure of godfatherism in Osun State?
Yeah, I think, and as we were talking, this just kind of came to light because earlier I had mentioned that Aregbesola, to me, tried to continue a system that brought him into power. It seems to me that Oyetola is taking a different note. He's actually building a different way or a different model, different from the model that brought him in. Because I think, as Mr. Adisa said earlier, he actually campaigned on the things that he delivered. He wasn't saying that he has a godfather or anything. He campaigned on what he delivered and what he plans to accomplish. And I think the people bought into that. So I think going forward, this should be the model, irrespective of how you got in. If you're a politician and you have a vision, you have something that you want to achieve and accomplish, I think this is the right model. Do, execute your vision, do the things that people are yearning for, make a real difference in the lives of everyday Nigerians. And Nigerians, I believe, if they believe you've done the right thing, will give you another opportunity to continue and give you that mandate.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Demola, let's have your last word. What is your take on what has happened in Osun State? How should politicians now learn from what has happened?
Yeah, what happened in Osun State
Osun.
Yesterday is a good development for Nigeria. It's an indicator of the message that people are saying. Now, there is nobody in politics, in any profession, you always have people to mentor you and to lead you into leadership. But when you have become of age, the honor is for those people to step back and allow you to also display and also develop others. So political fatherism it has its own advantage of developing people, bringing out a new culture, new people into governance, but they should be as a mentor to bring people that will deliver, that will make Nigeria grow. And Godfather should stay to make sure that the good people are elected into governance and tutor them into that good practices, not to strangulate them, not to try to over-influence them negatively to the detriment of the electorate. Now, this is a lesson that all the godfathers should always step back. When people are doing well, let them do their work, give them a free hand, let Nigeria political system develop higher rather than stagnate in one place only on a few people. So it's a message for godfathers that when your godson develop, they will wipe you out of the system.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I think my own social media declaration, what I would like to take away from the election yesterday is that in Nigeria, we can actually have a free and fair election if governors and politicians are willing to put themselves before the people. What we saw yesterday was fabulous, fantastic. We saw an election where there were no shooting, people are not being chased about, the law enforcers are not threatening people. We saw people queuing up, behind their candidates. Everything went smooth. The election was counted, and even Aregbesola lost in his own ward. It was there when it was being counted. So nobody can say there's no hanky-panky. So in Nigeria, we can have a free and fair election. We can do it if politicians want to be accountable. And I want to give kudos to Governor Oyetola. He has done us proud. He put his own ambition on the lifeline. He put himself in the hands of the people. He conducted, with the aid of NEC, he allowed them to do a free and fair election. He put himself in front of the people and he won. And now he had the support of at least 100% of the people in the party. And I want to say congratulations also to INEC and to the president of Nigeria, who has made the field, who has made everything possible by allowing the INEC to do their job. And the so-called federal power did not show up in Osun State. So I want to say thank you, Mr. President. And we've come to the end of this deliberation. And let me advise all our viewers, if you enjoy our videos, please subscribe so that anytime we make a new video, you will be one of the first people to know about it. You can subscribe by going to youtube.com/diaspora panel or www.diasporapanel.com. If you want to send us an email, send it to info@ diasporapanel.com. Thank you for watching. And let me say thank you again to Mr. Ademola Adesa, who's based in London. Mr. Adesa, thank you for your wonderful contribution for today.
For having me.
Mr. Olatande Digba, thank you, who's based in America. Thank you for your wonderful contribution. Mr. Olalawal, thank you also for your wonderful contribution, and have a lovely day.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
To all our viewers, thank you again. We see you again.